Hi everyone, just wanted to do another short video today about another rumour that's going around at the moment. So this came out on Monday, and it's there is going to be a live action Gargoyles movie directed by Kenneth Branagh. If you've watched any of our lives before, you'll know that I was as a child a big Gargoyles, Disney's Gargoyles fan. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. So if you're unfamiliar with Gargoyles, it was a group of gargoyles who live in Scotland, protectors of a Scottish clan. They're cursed and trapped in stone, and they're woken up in modern day New York, obviously years later. So they're in this medieval Scotland that it's originally set, and then the story skips forward to modern day New York. The main characters are Goliath, Lexington, Brooklyn, Hudson and Bronx. Obviously they're the ones I'm sure you'll get in a movie. I wouldn't be surprised if we got Demona later on, maybe an end credits scene. But the main villain of this film, it has to be David Xanatos, who is sort of an evil Tony Stark, but very cool character. Also Eliza, who is a New York cop who sort of acts as the Gargoyles' link to the new world that they wake up in. So I think casting would be really fun for this. Goliath needs to have, most of all, I would say, an imposing voice, and be able to carry emotion and wisdom through that voice. I don't think the physical appearance of the actor is going to matter too much. I think they'll achieve a look by going and using motion capture suits. But for Goliath, if I was casting, I would go with someone like Liam Neeson, springs to mind. I think he's got the voice to do it justice. The motion capture suit can do the rest. You've got, for Xanatos, he needs to be smarmy. He needs to have a face you can't trust, a face you want to punch, actually. And for some reason, I really like this actor, but for some reason, Benedict Cumberbatch springs to mind. I think he would make a good Xanatos. And I think the obvious choice for Eliza would be Ana de Armas, if she was willing to do it. I mean, she's a pretty big star at the moment, but she would be good. If this film is done right, it could be the first entry into a Marvel, Star Wars level franchise. Because Gargoyles is relatively unmined source of material. There are unlimited story opportunities that could be explored. I would probably go with a different director for each film and just keep it fresh that way. It's remembered for being quite dark for a cartoon, especially in the 90s as well. And I'm hoping that the live action version will lean more into that darkness, because I actually think it is a dark story, and there is a lot of potential for a darker version of that cartoon. There are a few things I would change. So in the 90s, there was a law passed that cartoons couldn't show gun violence, so guns with bullets. So in the cartoon, the Gargoyles cartoon, they used guns that were laser guns that would fire, and they were good enough for the cartoon. But I hope that I think this film would benefit from using real guns, real bullets. Obviously not real bullets, but having a real gun firing blanks, because I think the more realistic they make the setting for this film, the better it will be, which I think is good. Also in the animated series there was cyborg gargoyles. I sort of feel like we should leave them out of any live action film. I think that gargoyles are cool enough without cybernetic enhancements, so we don't really need that. One of the things I wouldn't change, Goliath absolutely has to have a mullet. It wouldn't be Goliath to me if he's not got business at the front, party at the back haircut. So definitely stick with that. I think a large part of this film should take place in Scotland. I think it's important to understand how the Gargoyles were betrayed for later on in the series. So if it was to become a franchise, you don't have to explore that in this one. I think you'd have a large part, I say a third of the film set in Scotland before it skips to modern day New York, when they're awoken. But I do think you need that if you need to establish the foundations of that betrayal and why the gargoyles don't trust many people for later on in a film series. Lay the foundation, it comes easy. I feel Kenneth Branagh is a good choice for director for this. I mean, I like the first 4 films. I know a lot of people don't. I've more of an issue with the comedic take on 4 that we got in the later films. But I thought Kenneth Branagh had done a good job on the first 4 films, and I think if he brings that tone to a Gargoyles movie, that would work well. I just feel like before I finish, I think should just state Disney has said this rumor is false. I don't think I believe that. I think it's maybe early in development, and they don't want to give anything away. But I do think that there's some truth to this. It seems quite a random rumor to just spring out of nowhere. Even if it's just talks that this could happen at Disney, I do think there's some truth to it. And I've said, I mean, in a lot of our live shows, our long hour-long live shows before, that Gargoyles has got an audience out there, and Disney know that, and and they've got the special effects, they've got the money to make a decent Gargoyles film, which I think would make them a ton more money. So why not do it? So if this doesn't go ahead now, I'm sure it's going to at some point. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, let me know what you think in the thoughts in the comments, and if you think it's a good idea to go do a live action version. If not, tell me the reasons why. But yeah, let's have fun. Cheers.